will help you on the way. Everything is possible. Good things to come. Nothing can stop you together. You get it done.
At PAFootballNews.com, we've got you covered. If you're looking for the best coverage of high school football in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, check out PAFootballNews.com. From schedules to rankings, game coverage to Friday night scoreboard, live streams, and more, PA Football News is the one-stop shop for everything high school football in Pennsylvania. Follow us on Twitter at PA Football News and visit us at PAFootballNews.com. We got you covered.
I'm Andre Reed. I was born in Sacred Heart Hospital.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cumberland Valley High School. We are live for the state championship games. We got our first pregame report. Today's game is brought to you by Turf Tank. If you've got grass fields, they've got turf for you. Today's game is also brought to you by Coach Com, the leader in communications. You'll see Coach Com on the sidelines. It's brought to you by Safer Sports, building better helmets, covers to save our players, and by Sports Paradise with Kevin James. They make great uniforms for your teams of any sport. So we're going to take you live on the field in 5, 4, 3.
You got a green, it's on.
Hello, this is Phil Myers and Jared Samuel live from the first game of the PIAA Championships that will feature Steelton-Highspire Steamrollers against the Fort Cherry Rangers. And Jared, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what I can see right in front of me right now is a pretty boisterous Fort Cherry Ranger crowd here. They've traveled, and they're fired up and all in their red. They've got their band, and I think I think this is going to be an exciting game. Honestly, driving down this morning with my boys, I said, hey, this could be the wild game of the weekend. What do you think?
I predicted that this was going to be the highest scoring game, and I think this might be the most exciting game of all of them. You have two dynamic quarterbacks in Alex Irby for Steel High, the Pennsylvania all-time leading yardage, all-time career touchdown pass leader, and he has a chance today, if he throws 2 touchdowns, to break the single season record. But on the other hand, and Alex is going to the Naval Academy to further his education, play football, and serve his country.
Great.
But on the other side, Fort Cherry, they have a sophomore quarterback who's just as dynamic. He can do it both. He's a dual threat.
Yeah, Matt Sieg, right, and only a sophomore. I mean, so how much further can this kid grow? And I mean, getting here with Fort Cherry on this stage this early, in his high school career has got to be amazing. And I mean, you can only wait to see how it's going to work out in the future for him, right?
Right. That's so true. I know James Franklin from Penn State flew the helicopter. Well, he didn't fly in the helicopter. He flew in the helicopter. He didn't fly it. But he said he came to the WPIL championships and wished him good luck. Yep. So. Who knows? Matt Sieg has a lot in front of him. Big stage today. He has some supporting cast. Corneli has a wide receiver. He has Folletto, who's a 1,000-yard rushing back. But Steel High has almost a 2,000-yard receiver in Darrell Caesar. And Ronald Burnett at back also. So it's going to be a great game. And I think whoever gets the ball last may win. I don't know.
Exactly. And it might be one of those big turnovers that makes the big difference in the game, because I think both defenses are pretty good,
That's right. I really expect both teams to score 40 points. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
No, it's going to be a wild, wide-open game. Really, definitely will be. So, yeah. And I think, for the most part, it looks like, we drove down through snow this morning, so I'm pretty sure that I think the worst of that's behind us. So you can see over here, the sky's lightening up a little bit. It's warmer. They do have the lights on. So, I mean, I think things are setting up really, really nicely for a great first game here. I think this is going to be an awesome one.
All right, no wind. I think the sun's not really out, but it's 40-degree weather and perfect football conditions for Pennsylvania for this time of year. You can't ask for much better.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I mean, certainly way better than the fog you were dealing with last weekend.
Last week in Maryland, that's right. So, yeah, we're looking forward to a great game. Both teams come in undefeated. Fort Cherry beat Red Bank Valley last week. Had some fourth quarter heroics from Max Sieg to do that as Red Bank held the lead. But Steel High, on the other hand, had no problem with South Williamsport. But having said that, I think this is still going to be a great game, and we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think what you said was right. I think this is one of those games. Whoever's got the ball last, I think everybody's going to be looking and saying, "Wow, that might be the way that this thing ends."
That's true.
Crazy good stuff, man. So definitely hoping for a good one as the Steelton-Highspire band gets going behind us. And I'll tell you what, I recognize that tune because my alma mater, Dallas, played this one in 2019 when they were down for the state championship at Hershey. So
there you go.
Good stuff. Yeah, it brings back some memories of my boys are smiling, and it's good stuff. So love this atmosphere.
Great atmosphere, and we're looking forward to an exciting game and an exciting weekend because on paper, at least 5 of the games look to be dynamic, great games, and of course they have to. That's why they play the game. But like I said, it should be a great weekend. The weather's even going to improve from today.
Yep, you got it.
So.
Definitely. So, and it's good. I love it. We get to set the table.
That's right.
And get this good one first out of the gate here. So yeah, good, definitely good stuff. So looks like we're about a little over 13 minutes away. So we'll just we'll see where things end up.
And send it back upstairs. Yeah.
Thanks, Billy.
All right, thanks, guys. Great report, great job on that. We're going to be back at halftime with a halftime report live here from Cumberland Valley Stadium. Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors are Safer Sports, Turf Tank, Coach Com, and Sports Paradise. Thanks for allowing us to bring this to you. We'll be back at halftime, so stick around.
Remind you to refill with chocolate milk. Let's get ready for the marching band.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to introduce the 2023-2024 Fort Cherry Junior Senior High School Ranger Marching Band. And is under Mr. Matt Nelson, and he's assisted by Mrs. Rachel Nelson. The major head coach is Mrs. Katie Gordon. Student leaders for the band are drum major Rachel Drinkwine, assisted by Catherine Stott, provincial captain William Jeanette, co-captain Jenna Glover. For your entertainment today.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Cumberland Valley. Steel High is getting away with this, and we got a score of 34-0. Steel High is completely taking control. Our halftime report is brought to you by Coach Com, the better communications on the field. It's brought to you by SaferSports.com. Safer Sports is building us a professional and very safe helmet cover to keep concussions down. It's also brought to you by Turf Tank. If you own grass fields, you need to have a turf tank. And it's brought to you by Kevin James and Sports Paradise. Kevin James and Sports Paradise, they offer the greatest deals on the best uniforms for any program that you might have for your school. So right now we're going to take it down on the field with Jared Samuel, Alex Fidgersevsky. They're going to give you their halftime report.
Hey, thanks, Billy. It's Jared Samuel here with Alex Fidryshevsky.
10 points. Well done.
Nailed it. So a wild first half for Steelton, right? And I mean, what can you say about that?
Dominant on both sides of the line. Athleticism just too much for Fort Cherry today. Best player on the field, deciding the game thus far, and there's really not much else to write home about right now. It's a dominating performance from a team that has, all year been touted as the best Steel High team ever, and they're certainly living up to all the hype today.
Yeah, and I don't think you're wrong at all. I think the deck was certainly stacked against Fort Cherry coming in, just knowing how good Steel High's been and how good Irby is. But I do I like watching Sieg. I really do. I think there's a lot that he learned. You could see just towards the end, maybe the second quarter, he started to get a little things going. Just tripped up short there to get on the points on the board before half, unfortunately. But very wild, one-sided game, unfortunately, so far.
I think it's a good learning experience for him and for Fort Cherry. This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences, too, for some of these smaller towns coming out of Western Pennsylvania. And for Sieg, a player who's got a very, very bright future. Obviously, we've all know that major power conference schools starting to show interest in him, including Penn State. His ability to run the football, absolutely spectacular. He's been confident as the game has been going on. I think as he settled into that, he's been able to lead them down, march them down the field here going into halftime. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the points for them. Take an emotional victory into halftime with them. But again, as an individual, I think we're seeing kind of the early flashes of what this young man is going to bring to the table over the course of the next 2 years, and why he's considered one of the top prospects in not just Western Pennsylvania, but the state as a whole.
Yeah, I think so too. And and even on both ways, running and throwing, I think the kid is really strong. And I think overall, this is going to be a tough tilt for Fort Cherry, no matter what happened. But I mean, it's kind of played out. I think, like a lot of people, that I thought it would be a bit closer. I think there was a couple of places where it could have flipped a little bit either way. But Steel is obviously, they are rolling, as their name tells you. But man, it's right now it's just not close. Hopefully Fort Cherry can make something of it in the second half.
Yeah, listen, it's one of those things that Steel High, very multifaceted approach. They can pass the ball. Their line is very strong, so they can blow those holes open. They've been able to do it, in the air and on the ground. And I think, more so than a knock against Fort Cherry, who, again, probably having one of their best seasons, if not their best season in school history, just run up against a juggernaut team this year. And, when you have your leader going to a Division I school, going to Navy like Irby is, and we've seen what some players in state championship games of recent years going to Navy have been able to do. Mount Lebanon a couple of years ago.
Right.
This is what you expect out of a player at that level. Look at what we had some of the games last year. You had, Veselowski from Southern Columbia put them on his shoulders and said, all right, I'm driving the bus home. That's what you're getting today.
Yep, that's exactly right. And so it hasn't been disappointing from that perspective, certainly not. And hopefully, like I said, the Fort can make it a little bit of a game in the second half here. That's what we hope.
I think, for Fort Cherry, where you are right now, you want to get some points on the board. Try to get some, you don't want to say the game's over, but you're in a hole that's going to be very, very difficult to dig yourselves out of. You want to get emotional victories right now, I think, if you're Fort Cherry. In the second half, if you want to say win the half and go home with something that you can really build on for the future with them.
No doubt about it. Yeah. So I think from that perspective, definitely. So, not a whole lot more to say as the Fort Cherry band plays behind us. I think it's awesome. And we will, hopefully we'll have a great second half. It's been a wonderful weather day. A little chilly, but, it could be worse. We could have snow, right?
Hey, it snowed my whole way up here from Allentown.
Kidding,
so we got pretty lucky with the weather. Tomorrow's weather forecast for Westinghouse, Southern Columbia is almost 60 degrees.
It's going to be beautiful.
So it's going to be a beautiful, almost like October day instead of early December. The nights will be a little chilly for these games. And then Saturday night, that could be the messy one.
Yeah.
But if you're North Allegheny,
I think
you're liking that weather forecast for the 6A final. If there's there's a torrential downpour coming through, it's going to keep the ball on the ground.
That's absolutely right. Well, yeah, I think you're exactly right. But yeah, we've been very fortunate.
What are your thoughts looking ahead a little bit towards tonight's game? Obviously, we're all going to be back to do previews of that game. Should be a really interesting power versus speed game tonight.
So here's the thing. I'm a Dallas alum, and followed them. I saw them play McDevitt last week. And the way that Dallas gets it done is just tough, hard-nosed football, defense, special teams. Their coach will talk about it all day. The power cleans, the whole 9 yards. Everybody's heard it, and it's been great. The thing is, you have a team in Aliquippa that is just a totally, totally different type of thing than Dallas may have seen. The thing is, these guys haven't given it up all year. They just keep finding ways to win. So it could be a wild one. It could be really, really close, or it could be a blowout. Either I can't call it. It's really, really hard to call for me.
I think if we want to go off of their playoff run, last week's victory is a similar type of opponent.
Agreed.
In Bishop McDevitt that they are going to see tonight in Aliquippa. So they got to see some scholarship level talent last week, and were able to game plan and survive and battle it out. I think for Dallas, the key for them is going to be to survive not just the first drive, get through the first quarter. And if they can get through the first quarter, then you open it up and you got your shot.
Yep.
If they get hit once or twice in the first quarter, to borrow a soccer term, you don't want to be chasing the game.
No, you don't. And I think just getting it early. Stopping it early and keeping it close early is the key. Yep.
Should we send it back to Billy?
Let's send it back up to Billy. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Again, this halftime report has been brought to you by Safer Sports, Turf Tank, Coach Com, and Sports Paradise. We'll be back after the game with our post-game wrap. But for now, I'm Billy Splain, and this is PA Football News. Hang tight.
And now we have with us the District 3 Chairman, Mr. John Ziegler. Give it
Done in a second, I think, for that.
Andrew Irving Jr., Jayon Perry, in honor of Honorary Captain Tim Ryder, if you'll please step forward as the 2023 PIAA Class A Championship Trophy is presented to the Steelton-Highspire Steelers. Congratulations.
Very good.
seniors out there for them. They dominated offensive and defensive lines. Irby going to Navy, they're going to be able to change their offense with him. This is not your prototypical Navy quarterback.
Definitely not.
He really showed poise in the pocket, good arm on him. And for Fort Cherry, though, this is a young team. There's going to be a lot of talent that comes back over the next 2 years for them. Are they back in this position next year? It's not out of the question. And Sieg, a year older, a year bigger, a year more experience. Great learning experience for them today.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I think especially for Matt Sieg, right? Because the kid, you saw what he did even in the second half, even being down so much. He didn't quit. He stayed with it, still tried to drive his team down, and he showed some leadership, which I appreciated. I know these fans did. They're very supportive. I expect, honestly, and we were talking about this, I expect, honestly, the way things lay out, very good chance these guys will be back next year, especially with Sieg still being only going to be a junior next year. I mean, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, listen, I think that this could be a rivalry that kind of becomes a state championship thing potentially for the next 2 to 3 seasons. You could see this game rinse and repeat, if you want to call it that. One of my favorite things about the small school games is what we saw here from the Fort Cherry fans.
Right.
Big school football, we all love to cover it, but the community just hits different when you do the small school games. We'll see it tomorrow with Southern Columbia and Westinghouse. Even though House is a big city school, that is a tight-knit neighborhood in the east side of Pittsburgh. Southern Columbia come down. Fort Cherry's another one of those groups outside of Pittsburgh, just south of Cannonsburg, rural area, small town, kind of that whole small town big dream thing. And I tell you, great turnout for them today. And I think, folks, it becomes something that's once in a lifetime. Let's assume they don't get back here. They all go home with this memory.
Yep, they do. It's good memory nonetheless. Did get on the board, did not get shut out. And I'll tell you what, they don't seem real dejected there. What a good, tight-knit group. I see them over my shoulder here. And I'll tell you what, they got a real good shot at getting back here next year being young.
Yeah, win or lose, anyone who makes it to the state game, you are among the elite in your state, regardless of classification. It doesn't matter if there's 4 classes, 6 classes, privates, whatever it is. If you're one of the 12 teams that is blessed enough to have been playing this weekend, you are at the top of the football pyramid in the Commonwealth.
Yep, no doubt about it. So we're going to hand this back up there, but listen, folks, don't leave, because at 6:40 tonight, we're coming back live here. We got another big one tonight, Dallas and Aliquippa. So, I'm going to tell you, as they change out everything here, as they get everything cleaned up, we're going to see a whole changing of the guard here. You're going to see a whole different sets of fans come in here for a night game. What do you think about that one?
It's going to be a really interesting battle, and we mentioned this at halftime. For Dallas, get through the first drive, then get through the first quarter. You get through the first drive and through the first quarter, then all bets are off. If you want to call it the puncher's chance, and again, I'll reiterate what I said at halftime. If you fall behind 2 scores in a game like this to a team like Aliquippa, you're chasing the game, and you don't want to be doing that.
Okay, agreed. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, let's do this again in about 2 hours.
You got it, man. Thank you.
Billy.
Back up to you, Billy.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate the report. Hey, stick around, fans. This post-game report, again, was brought to you by SaferSports.com, Cobalt Systems from Coach Com, Sports Paradise, and Turf Tank. We'll be back tonight at 6:40 with the pregame report for Dallas and Aliquippa.